Mills, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. It's me, Professor Hans von Puppet. And start again. Hello, Bar Mills, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. And I'm not alone. Join Art and the crew for the next First Monday live broadcast on April 4th on Facebook and on YouTube. And see what modeling legend Mike Tylick does to his Bar Mills kits. Why, he takes them apart, he puts them back together, he adds a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He's just like a mad magician. So be sure to stop by. There's so much to learn. So much to learn. I am not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Welcome to Bar Mills Live. We are live. Today is April 4th, and we have a very exciting show for you guys tonight, you modelers out there. As you just saw, we have a special guest, Mike Tylick, tonight. We also have, as usual, a special clinic. So I always start the show off, and this month we have tons of wonderful photos. Thanks for sending those in. Continue to send them in. So let's jump right into that while the guys get ready for, hair, makeup, that kind of thing. Let's see here. Tons of photos tonight. The first photo we have tonight is an Scale Shipyard from John Greenwood. Now, I don't know if he took one and built it on top of each other. I'm just kidding. Clearly, this is sitting on a very shiny surface. Now, this isn't a kit that we get a whole lot of photos. If you've built this structure, I'd love to see it. John did a great job. Now, it says here in my notes, he is in Australia. I'm pretty sure N scale is the same down there. Probably just
That's why it's upside down.
Slightly different.
He gets both. He's got.
We actually have a lot of great modelers that hail from Australia. So, hi, how are you? Next up, long time, many time, Jim Reese and his Babcock Boiler. Now, wow, I have not seen this kit in this color before. Great job, Jim. This is clearly a very nice, neat version of this kit. If you're familiar with this kit or you've ever built it, our version definitely isn't this nice and neat, but he's done a wonderful job here. He's actually, done a little bit of kit bashing. That seems to be the theme for tonight. Next up, we have Hector Turner. Now, Hector helped us out with something this week, actually last week. Thanks a lot, Hector. This is his version of one of the cigar corner buildings. This is the large cigar building, the very left of the diorama, if you're familiar with it. Wonderful job, Hector. Really, really great job. Got one more photo here from Hector. I believe it's the same building. If you're familiar with this structure, especially this building of that full kit there, you'll notice that this has something we've never really done before this, tip-out windows, tip-out display windows. If you've ever, well, I guess nobody's really seen this kit at a show, unfortunately. Next year, I promise. Maybe. You would notice these windows and how you can really kind of add interior detail via these windows without a whole lot of extra work. Great job, Hector. Don't be afraid to send us more. Next up, we have Downtown Garage by Mike Phipps. Now, I believe this is the O-scale version. No, this has got to be HO. Not too many people have built the O-scale yet. When you get it finished, send me a photo, please. If you're familiar with this kit, you should be. We've been talking about this kit for a couple months now. These are out and about, and if you've done this kit or you have this kit sitting on the shelf, get it built. We want to see it. Next up, we have a Wanda's from Dan Floretto. I apologize if I messed that up. Beautiful structure. This is a kit that we've had around for a very long time, and it's actually gone through a couple redesigns and things like that, but wonderful kit. If you've ever built this kit, you know what I'm talking about. Really, really great kit. You probably have built this, so you should probably send me your photo so you can have your Wandas right here for everybody to see. Next up, another Wandas. I told you. Now look at this. This is, I mean, from photography to modeling, this photo, captures everything that we try to do here. This is someone who has purchased this kit, put it together, and really added their own flair, but also, sent us a picture that is clean and crisp. And, this is, thank you very much. Now, this is from Betty Brulund. I'm sorry if I got to go back to English class. Betty, if you have more photos like this, I would love to see them. I'll come over and take them if you want. Send us as many as you can. Last but not least, Scott with his Stewart's Rod. Beautiful photo. Now, we get tons and tons and tons of photos. And just like the last photo, sometimes we get really just stunning photos where we don't have to do anything to, and then we get photos like Scott sent us. I'm just kidding. Now, you'll notice in this photo, he's really gone overboard with the details. But we don't really see a whole lot of photos come our way that are literally lit up. And I mean, look at this. I mean, even those guys sitting there, they're excited. Scott, I tell you, wonderful job. I always love when you send us photos. Keep them coming. All right, now we always award a winner. Tonight's winner is Betty.
It's not a winner. It's a random winner.
This. I apologize. I'm getting corrected. This was the random winner. It is done random and all that good stuff. But Betty, you have won. If you want to send us your information, give us a call at the shop. We're generally here from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Shoot us an email. Get a hold of us. And let's send it off to the guys.
Okay, welcome to April, finally getting through the winter, Jack.
Yeah.
We're wearing our jackets because it looks so cool, actually. I think it's...
most of the snow's gone. We got some piles left where people plowed it, but that's about it. So it's getting nice sunny out, getting a little antsy to get going.
All right, and we have a lot to talk about tonight. We have a lot going on. This is going to be a little different format than you're used to. Jack is actually going to interview the one and only, the great man himself, Mr. Mike Tylick, because as a builder, and certainly Mike is a builder, I think they're going to have a lot to share as far as information goes. We're going to be going through an awful lot tonight, so much that, Jack, I know you don't read, but let me help you out here. Customer photos, then what's new. Let's talk about what's new. Some of the so-called new stuff isn't that new, but it may be new to you, or it may be finally released. And we're going to talk about that right now. Now, all of these kits, the three kits we're going to be speaking about, are available through the Bar Mills website, and we have a little special deal on a couple of them. So, Lenny, if you could, rather than have them in front of us here where they're hard to photograph, I'm going to have Len put them up on the screen. The first one is the HO version of Salmonella's, which was part of the original tribute kit, the FSM tribute kit, several years ago. Now, we had made this in N scale, but had never reproduced it in HO scale until now. And Lenny, do you have a photo for that, bud?
Yep.
He's looking around. Anyhow, it is available. It's in boxes. It's ready to ship. And we have a special little thing. You can see the graphic right there, I think. We have a special little thing going on that on the Salmonella's kit, if you decide you'd like to get Salmonella's, the kit is $94.95. But if you use the code, and this is only good through Friday, so if you're not watching this immediately or within the next 3 or 4 days, if you use the code SHIP, SHIP 44, quattro, what you'll end up with is free shipping within the U.S. Outside the country, we can't do much for you. We're getting hammered with postage lately. Hate to say it. We have one package that we were to send overseas. We charged $35. We had to pay $85. Things are going to change. I hate to say it, but it's the way things are going right now, and you'll see it more in the overseas packages or even the Canadian packages, because they too have fallen into this I don't know what to call it, this quagmire that we've all gotten ourselves into with things these days. So use the code FM That stands for First Monday, 4-4. And you will get the salmonellas, the $94.95, but shipping for free through Friday only. So if you're going to get it, this is the time.
What's the date, Friday?
I have no idea. Today's the 4th, so it must be the 9th, right?
Yep.
Through the 9th.
Give them
okay?
the 9th, yeah.
Through the 9th. Okay, so that's one kit that is here and ready. Now we have another kit. Now, obviously, that's an older kit that we've repackaged and made available as a standalone for those of you who would like to get one. I know Craig Brotman out there, according to our friend Frank Bernard, has been trying to get a hold of one, and it's finally available and in stock. It's actually in stock. It's only available directly through Bar Mills. Okay, the next one up is Lenny. What do you have next as a photo, buddy?
Let's talk about Clark's.
Okay, Clark's Woodworks is a kit we've been talking about for a while on HO scale. It is on my workbench right now, and the instructions are being zipped up. And I would say you can order this right now. It will be shipping within the next 2 weeks. Now, what we're showing you is the HO scale version. It's $89.95, and if you use FM 40, if you ship SHIP 44, you will be getting also free shipping on Clark's through Friday. Now, Clark's will be available in the next 10 working days or less in HO. We are currently also consecutively working on an N-scale and an O-scale version, which are going to be the next ones available. So what you want to do is make sure that you keep an eye out on the moves on our website and so on. And Clark's is on our website right now, and you can see on screen that there are 2 photos of it. We have it in front of us here, but the 2 photos let you see the back of this kit, because we have so much detail in back that we tend to show the front, not the back, and this is one of those that has a lot of detail. And finally, something else in stock, and this one you may or may not know about, and this is a special deal too. I meant to say ship 44 on each of those last 2 kits for free shipping. The next kit is going to be a little bit different, and Lenny, if you could call it up, please. This is one that was handmade and mastered by Mr. Ellis right here, and this is the ash pit at Cranberry Yard. And it's really an amazing thing. It's only 1, 2, like 3 or 4 major pieces in this whole kit, because what you see there is a stone kit. I think we lost a photo on that one, Lenny. No, what we see here is a stone structure that is made out of 1 piece of resin from the stairs to the coal in the bottom, right?
11 total pieces.
11 total pieces, a very quick
Some are
kit.
small.
Some are small, but it's also extremely affordable. This kit here is only an HO scale. We don't see it coming out in any other scale at this point. And it's $22.95. And you have to dig a hole in about a half an inch?
It's just a little over a half an inch. Not much.
So you have to use your own track. You have to use your own track. Obviously, we cannot have any idea what you're using, whether it's Walters 83 or whether it's code 100 or whether it's code 70 or whatever.
I basically took a piece of flex track and cut the ties off it and the right distance for the ash pit, and just centered it right on the 2 I-beams and glued it down, and I was done. That was it. So,
now, I want you to keep listening to what we're talking about here, because it's $22.95, but you're watching right now, and through Friday only, it's $17.95, okay, plus shipping. This is plus shipping on this one, okay? $17.95. You got to place the order before Friday. You don't have to do it this minute, but it is online. Now, also, we have a deal with this particular one. Lenny, do you have some photos that you can share with us? Yep. Cranberry Yard, is, if you've been following us, has several structures with it. We've had the Cranberry, the water tower,
the tower,
the yard tower.
Well, there's a bunch more too. There's the office, there's
the freight house.
The freight house.
There's an awful lot of things.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing something very special here. Now, you can get it for $17.95 plus shipping, or if you buy 2 Cranberry Yard kits, and you can look at our website, pick out whichever 2 you'd like. If you'd like to buy two Cranberry Yard kits to get you started in the series, and there is more coming. If you'd like to buy 2 of the kits, we will give you the ash pit for free as a bonus. And of course, there is shipping involved. This is not a shipping deal. This is a money on the kit kind of a deal. So you have 3 things here. You have the salmonellas released in HO for the first time. You have the opportunity to order Clark's for the very first time, and you'll also have the ash pit for the very first time, and that's so new. Many of you may have seen it in Railroad Model Craftsman. Maybe some of you have not. So if you have any questions, I do want to say before we get started too much, Jack is not seeing responses on his Facebook feed. I, on the other hand, am seeing Frank Bernard and Jim Armour and Ron Scannell and Pat Buffalino, Hector Turner, who's helped us out recently with some instructions and some actually with some graphics. Ron Scannell, in case I didn't say that already. And of course, the first guy, here's Todd Bryan, John Clark, Wigwag has been on, and John Prater, who I think I saw on Facebook had a little incident in a hospital. John, I hope you're okay. And Jeff DeVito. Hi, guys from Florida. Hi, Jeff. If you have any comments, if we can, we will try to get to them. I can read them on YouTube, but Jack is monitoring Facebook and is having a problem. Okay, George Donchek from Tennessee, and that's about it right now. We kind of had a late announcement getting this out. I was actually, and it's not really cold right now, but you know, it's been a long time since we've been able to take a break. I just came in from a cruise to Nassau yesterday down in Bayonne, New Jersey, and we had to really put this together kind of quickly. We had a lot of it prepared in advance, but it's always a full day's project to get this out to you guys, okay? Keith McKenzie's on, okay, and You Are Naked. It says Wigwag Workshop. I don't know about that.
I got Michael McBride. I got a couple here from Southport, Maine.
Oh, yeah, he has local guy, Mike McBride.
Yeah, Todd. Is it Brian?
Todd Bryan. Yeah, he's on mine as well.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, so you know, you have your codes. You know what's going on with what's going on there. Okay.
So the date to remember is this Friday, which is the 9th. That's the critical date to get all these.
Which is the 9th, right?
These
Run down those codes one more time.
Yeah, the codes. If we want to do them one more time, if for the free shipping on either Salmonellas or Clark's. Now Clark's won't be shipped right away, but you will get free shipping if you enter the code SHIP, SHIP, P 44, and that'll be free shipping on either the Salmonellas. Jack, would you stop doing that? Or Clark's. And the ash pit will be $22.95 less $5, but there will be shipping with code FM, like here again, first Monday, 44, Quattro. Now, if you buy any other, a combination of two other Cranberry Yard kits, the ash pit will be free, so you know that, okay? Shipping will still apply, and it's always flat shipping within the U.S., as you probably all know. Now, this is the April edition of Railroad Model Craftsman, and we have an ad in here that it's the center page, of course. I don't know how well you can see this. I'm going to hold it up, but Lenny is actually going to put this on the screen. Now, I know you've seen this before. If you don't get Railroad Model Craftsman, you might want to consider it. And this is the ad, along with a lot of QR codes, so you can see all kinds of videos and a shop tour and things that many of you, I'm sure, have already seen. Lenny, do we have a graphic coming up?
Yeah, there.
We're going to do something a little different here. Now, you can see what some of these kits that we've spoken about, especially you can see the ash pit right there, and you can see the Salmonellas as well. Also coming up, after we get the ash pit and the Clark's in 3 scales done, I want to get a little informal poll, a little vote here. Also offered in this ad, but the ad is going to kind of get us through the summer because that's just the way it is right now. We're so busy. We have the HO scale ice house. We have the twin small town 2-pack, which is going to be offered in HO as well as O scale in that case. Up in the upper right, we have Lenny's mechanic truck garage. That's going to be offered in HO as well as O scale. And that's about it as far as things that we're not shipping right away. The question is this, and if you could write in, Jack, can you read yours now? Can you read your messages?
I'm getting some, yeah.
Okay.
They're updating them, so
If you want to let us know which is your priority after we get done with Clark's, whether it's the HO scale icing platform, the HO and O scale Lenny's, or the HO and O scale twin small town 2-pack, let us know, okay? As a matter of fact, I'm thinking that Lenny's, matter of fact, Clark's, we're doing an N. I don't know if we're going to do Lenny's and N. That might be a consideration as well. So let us know what you're looking for, and that'll be the next kit after we wrap up Clark's finally, okay? Lenny's, when will Lenny's, Lenny's, I just mentioned, Ron Scannell, I should be able to say that. That's when it'll be ready. We're taking a vote on that right now, Ron. So I see we have a Lenny's, love your models at Conway Scenic, Jack. So, Jack, Jim Reese says he's seen your models at Conway Scenic Railroad.
Yep.
Okay.
I was there for a while. Built a lot of them.
Now, tonight we're going to do something a little different. And you got to stick around for this whole thing tonight, because at the end of this whole thing, there's going to be something that many of you may be interested, because it involves a rather large prize. Ta-da! Okay. Ice House, Bruce Fielder. Ice House.
Yep.
Lenny's.
Ice House. Tim.
Oh, by the way, we are having trouble with Woodland Scenics getting figures these days, so you won't be seeing many figure deals at this point, because we can't get them. Lenny has something to say.
You want to give an update on the Cemetery Hill Tombstones?
The Cemetery Hill Tombstones may be in next year sometime.
Close.
No, they don't know. As a result, we have shipped out dozens and dozens of them as far as packages go that we have made out of white metal in placement of the Woodland Scenics. We don't want to hurt anybody or screw anybody, but we know you know that. But we wanted to make sure at least he has something to finish the Cemetery Hill diorama. So close to 200 of you have already gotten these things probably, but I'm sure we have a stack more that we have to individually label and wrap and get out to you and cast, because we had to cast them in-house out of white metal. So that's just an update. If you have not gotten your Tombstones, don't feel left out.
So the Tombstones aren't dead.
Da-da-da-da. Anyhow, that's it. That's my great voice. Jack's going to do a little something tonight that's going to be unusual. He's doing a clinic on...
It's basically kit bashing or rearranging your kits that you buy. So, and a little materials you use, and just a quick overview. It's not a lot, not very deep, but it'll give you a couple ideas and get ways to get started.
Now, I have to say, I'm looking here. I got Jim Reese says Lenny's, Bob Dye says Lenny's, Frank Bernard says Lenny's, Craig says Lenny's. Looks like Lenny's is the next one up. And it's going to be an HO&O, but we got to finish up this Clark's, which is still a lot of engineering to get him at, both in N and O scale as well.
Buddy Shorty is Lenny's.
I see Scott says he's gotten his Tombstones. Oh, the joy. And Steve Schatz says he hasn't gotten his yet. So that's the way it is. It takes a long time to send out hundreds of these packages. It's been a real pain in the butt, and it's no fault of our own. And I'm not even going to put it on Woodland Scenics. It's just the way things are. So your clinic tonight is...
This guy that missed at the beginning of this, who didn't want to know about the A scale, he'll do better.
Oh, Stan Bigda.
He'll do better to go back and look at it.
Dan, you might be better off looking back. Yes, we have O scale coming out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go back and look at it.
But when you have a chance, this is going to be on YouTube, so you can always... and Facebook, too. So if you want to go back and look at it, you can catch up.
There's too many.
Right. So you're going to be basically doing a clinic on... making big ones out of little ones, right?
Big ones or rearranging so they look a little different. Yep.
And once he gets done talking about essentially kit bashing, we're going to have Jack, not myself, but Jack interview.
Oh, you have an announcement before that.
We do have an announcement. We do have an announcement before that. But Jack is nonetheless is going to be interviewing Mike Tylick on his kit
Whether
bashing.
he likes it or not.
Hopefully it works, because we did try Mike Tylick, I think, on the very first...
Yeah.
The very first time we did this, which has been a year and a half now almost, and it didn't work out so well. Hopefully it'll work tonight. So do you have any intro to your video that we're going to see?
No, let's watch it.
Okay. Some of the stuff you'll know already, but it's a review, but it'll give you some ideas of how we actually get together some of our kits using our things that we may have done and reconsidered and reimagined. That's about it, right, Jack?
Sounds like it to me.
It does. Okay, Len, let's see that.
Hi, this is Jack Ellis from Power Mills. Today we're going to do a clinic. What we're going to look at today is you get the kit, you get the box, you get excited all about the thing, you look at it and say, ooh, this kit could be a little bit better. So we're going to add on to this, we're going to add on to that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and what we need to do that. So stay tuned, we're going to look at a couple of models and some material. We're talking about adding pieces to these buildings, maybe an addition, maybe a second floor or something like that. So let's talk a little bit about what we can make these additions out of and not spend a lot of money. The first thing we're going to look at here is, this is a poster board or mat board. You can get it at Michael's and things like that. They use it for picture framing and things like that. Great substrate material to build your walls out of, and easy to cut and easy to paint. If you want, you can go with wood. You can go to Northeast Scale Lumber, get clapboard siding, different sizes, vertical board. So this is also another way to add a extra room or an extra piece to your models by creating another small room out of the clapboard material. The other one is, this is from Monster Works, actually. This is a etched brick and etched cinder block, and it comes in thick. I've been using these for foundations and it works really well. I can cut it right on my table saw. The other one is paper products. These are from Micromat Self-Stick. This is a brick. This is a random stone and a cinder block. They're not bad. They may not be perfect for right up front, but they're great for things that are a little farther back. They have a texture to them. The only thing you can't use is a liquid weathering material on it, so you have to use dry weathering powders. And the last and not least is maybe a paper material, which is a brick paper or different paper materials. So there's all kinds out there. You can find them. They're not expensive. They're if you're going to do them in the background, it doesn't matter. You won't see it. So that's the materials we're going to use when we go to add additions. Yeah, the first building we're going to talk about is the Old Dominion Broom building. This is one of our kits from Bar Mills. And I'm talking about adding on this one. If you can look at the very bottom, you can see that we've added a brick foundation, which is very easy to do, especially if you use the thick material that we use in the brick. And then all I have to do is take it on my table saw and cut it down to the width of the foundation, and it glues right to the bottom, and you get a nice looking foundation. You can weather. This one's not weathered up yet, but it is painted up. So real simple, real easy, adds a lot of color to the building. If you see, it's kind of dull colors, but the red on the bottom looks really good. And the only other thing we did to this building is I added a small cupola to the top. The next building we're going to talk about is one of our buildings also from Cemetery Hill, Jonah's Casket. And what I did is I added the little side building to it. If you look here, you can see the little side building. And this building, the substrate of this building, you can see it, is just that mat board, painted black to look like tar paper, put some battens on it, and some little of the shingles, some tar paper roof, add a door and a window, and you're basically got a whole kind of different looking building. I added a second dormer. I just took the original one and traced the sides, got a new window, and changed the look a little bit of the building. Not a whole lot, but it does change the look of the building. This is a little add-on building that you can put on almost any building on the back. It's got some brick face. It happens to have our zippers on the corners. It's a MDF building. I added a door to it, some cardboard roof, a couple layers of strip wood to make my cornice. And if you look inside, there's nothing but, it's a block, it's a square. And you can saddle that up to any building you want, and it adds one more relief to the building. Another roof elevation. Lots of roof elevations make a very interesting building. The next building we have here is a modification of the original building. Was the Stanley stove building, which was just this section here. So it was a straight back building. So we put the L section on it, did some modification here. We put on the back a little boiler house to give it a little more texture to the back, and a couple of tanks on the side, and we've got a completely different looking building. And this was the prototype that ended up being American Salsa, and then we even did some more modifications for American Salsa to give it its own look. And from one little kit, we ended up with 3 good looking buildings. Here's another prototype that we did. This came from this little section here is rusty radiators, odd angle building. We wanted to make it look like it was a company that added on and added on and added on. So by adding a little piece between and a big building in the end, we ended up with, this one happens to be Fahey Welding Company, and this one came about and we moved it on to Jagger's Welding. We added some more stuff to it, some little bits here and little bits there. We rearranged the buildings a little bit, and that's how he ended up with Jagger Welding. Let's not skip over the plastic buildings that are out there, or the resin buildings that are out there. If you look at the pictures on the side here, we have two of, originally it's DPM Kelly Saloon. And what I wanted to do is make an inner city saloon with a building that had been demolished on the side. And by creating one wall that has just brick and a couple pieces that look like a chimney going up between the walls, a couple pieces of little wire sticking out, and some bricks that I make out of construction paper in a pile, I created a demolished building, and now this building has a whole different look. So by looking at the pictures, you can see that the building is there, but it adds so much to it. Some little scenery, and away you go, you got a completely different looking building. This is a building that we're developing now, it'll come out in the fall. So this is the prototype, and we've been working along and developing new pieces for it, skylights and different detail parts. The signs are all there, the windows, everything is in a development state, and we're trying to put these all together to create the look of these buildings. So it takes a little bit to get these done. So when you add on to a building, you want to look and see what the proportions of the buildings are and how it looks elevated and horizontal. The other material you're going to need to get is whenever you get a kit and you get extra windows and you're not using them, maybe put a wall that's blanked off window, save all the windows, stick them in a little, I buy these little boxes and put them in it. So if I want to make an addition and I need a window and I have the right size in the box, I can then go pull it out of the box and use it. But you remember, you can always go buy a couple of bags of windows from the window manufacturers that are out there. The other thing is detail parts. Grab a couple boxes and keep all your detail parts in a box so you can go back to them and look and say, yeah, I can use this part, or I can use this part to enhance the model and make it really pop when you start adding these little detail parts. I got a little update on a tool. This is the clamp. This is one of those bar clamps. You just trigger it in, it goes closer. You can get these now at Harbor Freight. I think they're on sale right now for 99 cents, which is kind of crazy. 99 cents is crazy. But I think even if they're not on sale, they're $1.99 instead of the really good ones are like $10 a piece. So this is a great bargain. So now we've looked at all this stuff today. How to add buildings and materials to do that. How to change a building over, make it your own, add signs, add details. And that's what we're talking about today. Make the building yours, take our kits, change them however you want. Don't forget, when you get that building done, if you change it a lot, send us some pictures. We'd like to see them. Maybe we'll get you on the podcast, and we'll see you on the first Monday coming up. Thank you.
And we are back, and we just had something from Bob Couch, who tried to purchase a Clark's and use Ship 44, but says that the coupon isn't working. Lenny will work on that, so if it doesn't work, don't order it. Give it a few minutes, or give it till tomorrow, whatever, because this is going to be good till Friday. No sense in taking a chance. It's too much of a hassle to try to undo something like that. So far, the votes are in mostly for Lenny's. I have to tell you, I thought it was going to be the Ice House.
Who knows?
Who knows? And we have a
You're
lot
going
to
to
do
get
with
them
that.
both eventually, just one before the other.
Now, Mike Tolick is standing by, we hope, because we've been through this sometimes with well-meaning modelers that sometimes don't use Skype all that much. But before we do this, I'm going to tell you a little about something that we're planning here. Now, the first Monday in July is actually July 4th, so we're not going to do a first Monday in July. It'll be a second Monday, July 11th. I'm sure nobody's going to be sitting here looking at our smiling faces when there's all kinds of crap
Unless
exploding.
they invite us to their house.
Unless, you can invite us over. Jack loves hot dogs.
Yeah, hot dogs are good.
I have to tell you also, Pat Buffalino, another our video, our audio volume had dropped. If that is true, please let us know if you've noticed that, because we're just talking into a box over here, and hopefully you're on the other end of it someplace. We're going to do something a little special. Now, this is going to go through July 11th. Normally it's the first Monday, but second Monday, July 11th. We're going to have a little contest. Now, the contest rules are very simple. You have to use Bar Mills components, Bar Mills kits, hopefully more than one. And we're going to, what Jack has just spoken about, kit bashing and kit enhancing, and we're going to ask you to do the same using one or more Bar Mills kits, details, shingles, whatever it takes, as long as it's the Bar Mills brand, because that's the contest. That's what this is about. And we're going to be offering a gift certificate based on entries that you sent us. Picture quality is a big deal, but creativity is a very big deal this time around.
Yeah, I think it's more creativity than the picture quality.
And the prize or prizes will depend on how many entries we get. If we only get 1 or 2 entries, obviously there won't be prizes. But if we get a dozen or more, we're going to offer not 1 but 2 prizes. But just so as you know, the first prize for this will be a $250 Bar Mills gift certificate.
That'll buy a couple of kits.
Well, you help yourself. The thing of it is, it's July 11th, so you want to get in before then. We cannot draw exceptions to this. But this is what, April, so you get to May to June. You got 3 months, right, basically? April to May, May to June,
Yep.
June to July. Yeah, 3 months. Do something over the top, and who knows, maybe your kit bash will end up being an actual kit. You never know.
That's true, too. Yep.
That can happen.
Yep.
At any rate, that's how it works with that. Now, at this point, we're supposed to, Jack, be talking to Mr. Tylick, and there's some confusion with Mike sometimes, and this hopefully isn't one of those times. If it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it's going to be a short night. What do we have here? Todd Bryan says it's much better. The volume has faded. Jim Armour says now everybody's saying it's much better. Jim Reese says, Jim Reese lives in New Hampshire, right?
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants you to come over and eat his hot dogs.
Is that what it says?
That's what it says.
Sweet.
Yeah, and it says audio is back up now. Thanks.
The codes are also adjusted, so you should.
All right. Lenny says the codes on the kits that Ship 44 is now working. Okay. I have 5 or 6 boxes of detail parts. Well, you know, Ron, if you have them, here's a good a good excuse to use them. Go over the top. It's worth $250. We're not asking you to send us your model. Okay, just so as you know.
Yeah.
But we are certainly going to want to put it and feature it on this broadcast, and maybe even more if we decided to make it into a possible kit or part of a possible kit. Craig has extra parts from the one kit from Bar Mills. And I got a little bit on the low volume, but everybody seems to be better now.
I have Mike. We just need Mike to turn on his camera.
Mike has to turn on his camera. Mike, if you're listening, buddy, turn on your camera because according to Lenny, we can't see you. But then again, if he has the sound off, how would he know this?
He'll hear it from through Skype.
Well, you
Hey, Mike. Good. How are you, Mike? Is your camera on? He says he can see him. How you been, Mike? Good. You can't see me either, huh?
He needs to turn his camera.
That might be good.
Mike's not going to see us.
Well, we are not going to need his picture to do what we have to do.
Correct. Okay. We can absolutely.
Yeah, I know. They say you still need to turn on your camera. He says the camera is on.
Well, we can do this without his camera on. Just talk about what he sent us here.
All right. Well, we can do this even if it's not on Mike.
Just as long as you know, Mike is an O-scaler, so the photos he sent us were O-scale kit bashes that he's done over the years, and we asked him to just forward some photos because, you know, we go back a long way.
Yeah, I'm right here, Mike.
And Jack is, we have a list of photos
Yeah.
here in front of us, and
Yeah.
they will be on the screen in front of you guys, and
Yeah.
Mike can help explain.
I've got your pictures here, Mike. We can go by the numbers, and I'll tell you what they are, and you can kind of.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me because
Yeah.
I never got a key with his numbers.
Not a problem. Let's go look at the first. Number one we have is the
He may not see number one, just tell him Crown Crate.
the Crown Crate that you did.
Okay.
You can do the Crown Crate where you did the conversions. So if you want to talk a little about that one, we'll go with that one first.
Which picture do you have? The lumber shed or the little buildings?
We have pictures of all of them, so you can talk about all of them.
Okay, let me know when to start.
You can start right now. I can.
Okay, Jack, I'll start right now.
Yeah, I got them on the screen.
Very good. Crown Crate is one of the Bar Mills kits that a bunch of my friends and I decided to all build the same model and compare them. one thing I decided to do was take the shed and turn it into little railroad buildings. One looked like a nice handcar shed with the little big doors, and the other one just looked like a little nondescript watchman shanty, crossman shanty. The lumber shed just seemed like it needed sides. Only the open ones I've seen had wide overhangs on all sides, and one thing I liked about old lumber yards was the flamboyant paintings and signs on the side. So I put signs on the sides of mine. Then I built some lumber piles, and it looks like it may find a home in my new layout extension.
Yeah, that looks really good. That's a
Thank you.
kind of a cool way to use that kit. You get 3 buildings for one. That's kind of cool. On the number 2 one, on the old scale, we can move on. We can go to the tire and battery.
Okay.
The town line.
That's actually a very subtle kit bash,
not have that
because I like the kit, and I named it after a local friend who owns a garage in Marshfield. But what I did that's not obvious is the windows, the side with the windows is reversed from the way the kit is. You know, one nice thing about the Bar Mills kits is that the parts are made such that they lend themselves to moving around and kit bashing. You're not usually limited to only assembling it one way. And the shed on the back, I believe, is my own.
Yeah,
And I changed the name on it. And other than that, it's a pretty straightforward model.
Yeah, they're subtle changes, but they do make a difference. You have the shed roof that you move from the side to the back, so that's kind of cool.
I wasn't sure if the shed was part of the kit or not. You build these things, then you forget what the kit looks like, really.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it, too. We can go move on if you want. We'll look at.
I'm not sure what else to say about it, but I like the building. It reminded me of a lot of garages and gas stations I've seen. I've always been drawn to gas stations. Like, I saw the new kit, which I really liked, the overhead one. Reminds me of a building I saw in Port Jervis, New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see you're a detail guy too. You love to add the details to it. So
in fairness, and I know this is a plug, lots of details come with these kits.
Yeah,
the nice details. I usually don't have to look much further.
Well, that's good because I think details adds a lot to the scene.
What detail, huh?
Yeah. Amos Cutters is the next one, where we have the General Mercantile.
Yeah, I keep calling it Ace Cutter because I know who it's named after. But that's actually a single-story building, and what attracted me was the rounded storefront windows. That's a nice storefront, something that would be a bear to scratch build yourself.
I agree with that.
So I wanted the kit, and I figured I had half the kit left over because there's no scale, there's less room. I do a lot of flats. So I just took the back of the building, made a second floor out of it.
That's the easy way to do it, isn't it?
Waste not, want not.
Exactly.
It's nice too because the windows match, the siding matches, and again the kits are easy to kit bash. It's really not much more difficult than working with styrene when you kit bash.
That's
wood
true.
Kits, laser kits.
Yeah, and you're getting basically parts from the back of the kit where nobody sees it and bringing them out front where they can be seen.
Depends on where it goes. Sometimes you do see the back of a building, but when you put them against the hill on the side and it's only several inches deep, no one's ever going to see the back.
That's true. That's true. I agree. Okay, that one looks pretty good. We can move on.
There's not that much to say about each one, but
just
tell you how kit bash. I will say this: the kits go together easily, and they lend themselves to do things like that.
That sounds. These look really good. I like these kits. You've done a nice job with them.
You always know what to say, Jack. Thank you.
And the next one is the REA Depot at Cranberry Yard.
Okay. That was another joint build. I get together every couple of weeks with a couple of friends, and one of them decided it would be fun to have everyone build the same kit and then compare what we did later on. And over time, it turned into try to make it differently. One thing with the REA building, the original kit is an L-shaped building, which just would not fit on my layout. so I made it more linear and put the shed on the side. So it kind of fit my space. And one thing I will say that's nice, I like the awning roof. That's a complicated roof that actually I thought was very well engineered, the way it was one piece and came together with no trouble at all. And by moving the side piece, the back piece to the side, the roof just fit. I had to do only minor extensions. And then I decided I'd add a long platform because it will be a passenger station, and stations always seem to need platforms. I didn't have any room in the depth, but I had a lot of room on the side. But it'll make a nice little station for the railroad.
I do like that linear part of it. Yes, it looks really kind of cool.
I think railroad stations are generally very linear buildings. Most railroad buildings are linear, long, narrow buildings.
Yeah, if they're servicing the tracks, usually they have to stay linear. So let's see what we got next. The next one is Swanson's Lunch Stand, and you changed the name.
Yeah, I did. I change the names often. I like to make signs, and this one's named after my stepdaughter.
Oh.
My stepdaughter loves chicken, and we like the band Chicken Shack, and I made new signs. One thing I liked with the sign years ago, and I can tell you where it was in Virginia, there was this beach shack that sold sodas and stuff. They called themselves the Thirst Aid Station, and for years I've been dying to use that name. And then I decided, since you can see inside, and since it's O-scale, I just added a lot of stuff on the counters, mostly bits of wire insulation and beads and paper punches with food drawn on it. But it turns out to be a nice little building named after my daughter-in-law. I did the lettering with decals. That way they fit into the wood pieces very well.
So those are just printed on decal paper, I
did that a lot.
They look really well done.
Yeah. Thank you. See, one nice thing with home decals is if you are using dark lettering on light backgrounds, almost any printer you might have will work. You cannot do light lettering on dark backgrounds with a home printer, though.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, the inks are not the inks are not opaque enough.
Right.
There are specialized printers, but that's not the whole ball game. But I like making signs, and I like making things. I get under pressure to name things after members of my family.
Well, I think we all do that.
Yeah, so that's after my stepdaughter.
Oh, that's cool. And I see you had fun making all the stuff on the counter. It looks like lots of stuff.
Yeah, that was bits. Yes, I figured I had to clutter it up, and basically I took bits of wire insulation, bits of plastic tubing. I use craft beads a lot. You can stick craft beads in windows. They look like little salt shakers. You take paper punches and flare tips and color little food on them. I copied the trick from Frank Zubit, where he made pencils from insulation, and I took pieces of wire, just the bare wire, and glued it on, and that became eating utensils. Because again, you can see inside very well.
Yeah, it looks well used.
Well, most of those places are. They have great locations on the beach.
And the last one is our Sweaties Betties. I see you've modified that a little bit.
Yeah, and with what I did, this is one that was not a really good idea. Now I'll tell you why. Because if you look at the kit itself, I reversed the location of the door and the window.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I had looked a little more closely, they're not exactly the same width. The door is a little bit wider, and all the nice construction pieces that fit did not fit, and I had to refit just about everything.
Well, that's sometimes very common, actually, when you...
But I mean, the thing is, I don't think I gained much by reversing the door and the window. It didn't look much different. That, by the way, is named after my daughter-in-law, Tricia. She said you named them one after Joanne, I won one after me. And she likes to cook. And what I did with that, the sign is interesting. I scanned the supplied signs. Some of the signs that the Bar Mills kits come with are very nice signs. And a lot of times I will scan them and use the sign and reset some of the type on it. But one common thing, at least in New England, was to name diners after the town. Like there's Miss Worcester, Miss Florence, Miss Holyoke. And the reason they would name diners like that was an attempt to get women to go into the diners to eat. So that's kind of a common name.
That's kind of cool. Are you working on anything now?
Well, right now I'm working on an extension to the layout. I'm playing with some hard shell and stuff like that, and trying to get the rocks right. And I'm playing with electronic circuits, but no models just for now.
You got the other side of the hobby going, huh?
Yeah, there's all different parts about it. That's what's nice.
Well, that sounds great. I mean, you got always in the hobby, there's all kinds of things to do, different types of stuff.
Luckily, from the day I retired, I've never had any trouble filling up my time.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it is. I have the same problem.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how you ever had time to work.
Exactly. Well, that sounds great, Mike.
Well, thank you, Jack. Like they say, model railroading is fun.
I have a good time.
I do too.
Yeah. So I think that's enough. We've gone through quite a few things here.
We've gone through a lot.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, and I'm glad to hear you.
Always nice to talk to you, Jack.
I was trying to remember how long when I first met you, and I believe it like 30-something years ago, Mike.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, we were all showing our age. We've known each other for years and years and years.
Well, it's good to talk to you, Mike.
You too, Jack.
And thanks for the call.
And thank you too. Always glad to talk to you guys. Take care. Bye.
And we are back, and I want to thank Mike Tyler. I've known Mike for better than a quarter of a century myself. Anyhow, we have had a few comments. I'm glad the sound is back. Ron Scannell says Tylic tool, which that was named after Tylic, was the second kit. That's still that was our first super kit, and that it wasn't a limited edition, but it was way over the top. It was also one of the first ones that our Jim Mooney, our engineer, actually got involved in designing. It was very complex, and Jim likes complex stuff. Anthony Borden is Jack. I don't know. Do you know this fellow? Because apparently he loves you. He says, Jack, the clinic on Saturday was great, very informative. Did you do something on Saturday that I didn't know about?
Was that the online one?
I don't know. It says the clinic on Saturday, or sat. You didn't sit, so I assume
it could have been that Saturday we did the 6-hour clinic. There was a bunch of people there. I don't remember all the names.
Todd Bryan is asking Lenny, who was the puppet master. That's no puppet. That's actually Lenny. He's coughing. He had too many chilies in his chili last night. He's having a difficult time with their voice, and that is those are the videos that we do. I script and then I commission someone to actually videotape them for us, and we have a good time with them, and then I edit them like everything else. What?
Lenny's taller than that.
Only slightly.
I'm telling you. Anthony Borden says yes online.
Okay.
So did you do an online clinic Saturday?
Yeah, no, it was a while ago.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the one we did in this for the Southern SER.
Anyhow, it looks like we did okay. Sound came back. We had a good night. We have a great contest going.
I got
we have
Cartier.
Chartier, yeah.
I'm going to need to take a crash course in originality and design for the contest.
This is a great excuse. So I am looking. Lenny, I know, is signaling to me customer photos. What's new? Don't forget Salmonella's, Clark's, and the Ash Pit, all available on the website. Soon to come, Clark's also in N scale and O scale. We are working on prototypes on those. And then it looks like if you had to read who won the contest here, not the modeling contest, it would have to be the Lenny's truck mechanic garage thing. Okay, which is kind of cool, and I'm hoping
it's not a thing.
It's a thing, but we're going to do that definitely in HO scale and definitely in O scale, and if we can squeeze it in,
my job's done.
Your job is done. Jack built a prototype on that.
I built a prototype. It's done.
That's true, and we can do that next. But here again, whenever we work in 3 scales, I know you all know this, but they don't happen at the same time. Okay.
You don't just push a button and it shrinks?
Well, depends what button I push.
Oh.
But but basically what happens here is it takes a long time to re-engineer things. The first one is the most difficult simply because the drawings are pretty much almost identical, because I'm really, really fussy about not changing kits simply because they're in different scales. Although white metal castings, resin castings, all of that will change from one scale to another because there are limitations as far as what we can do. So that, it looks like it's it. Do we have any other things here? Anything that you missed on your comments?
I don't know. I don't have many. I
see much better. Your volume is this. Lenny's. Well, a lot of Lenny's, a lot of votes for Lenny's there. And I know a few of you are waiting for the ice house. I love the icing platform. That was strictly my baby. Jack built it up, but the concept was something I've been wanting to do for a long time.
It'll be there. Yeah, we'll get that done.
We'll get that done.
Yeah.
And we simplified it a little bit to make it more fun because it was a little complex in the beginning. Unless you have any other Jack, do you have any comments? You're right here. I can ask you.
You can ask me.
I can ask.
I don't have any big comments, but I'm glad you guys showed up tonight. We have I think a solid group of guys that come every Monday night, which is kind of really good.
They come and they go. A lot of you guys watch this after the fact, which is fine. I do the same thing. Lenny's will be an N. I don't know about an N scale. I'd like to see it. We'll have to see. Some things scale better up, and some things scale better down, and some things actually work in either direction. Clark's Wood Products is something that we can do in 3 scales. Lenny's we'll have to see. I would like to see Hinkle's an HO. Hinkle's is kind of an HO because Hinkle's is actually a takeoff on our twin sheds that we just kind of revisited a little bit. So if you have the twin shed kit, you can kind of make your own Hinkle's. It's just a matter of the graphics. Anything else? I can give you some inside information because what the hell, they can't fire me. Right?
Well, we can buy it. It just doesn't do anything.
Sometimes we take our own kits and revisit them. Most of the time, not. And the big thing that we always look for in a kit, this is the way it works, Jack. You know this.
I hope so.
Most buildings are pretty commonplace. It's commonplace buildings. But Jack and myself, and I'm sure Lenny as well, were blessed with iPhones. And Jim Mooney, absolutely, blessed with iPhones. And the thing that I look for the most, and you might want to consider this out there, is if I see an unusual window or a freight door or even a passenger door, I will take pictures. Or a roof line. I will take pictures, and I can look at a building that may have some interest but doesn't knock me over. But with a few substitutions, I can make even a kind of a mundane building look really kind of cool. So while our buildings aren't necessarily prototypical in the fact that we literally copy a specific building, they are very prototypical because as much as we Imagineer, we also use prototypical elements in our kits, and we try to make them realistic and not too hokey. You can get carried away with with just a lot of stuff going on if you don't step back once in a while. Jack, anything to say on that?
Nope.
He says no.
Most of the buildings anyway are a bunch of boxes that you put together. So box on top of box, beside box.
And of course, our engineering, and of course, we're constantly developing new prototypes for castings because that costs a lot of money to do and it takes time. It's not like cranking out a bunch of paper signs, which is fine and dandy, and they add a lot of color. But it's hard to compare the effort that goes into them. We are already working on next year's Christmas kit in the background, and that will be several buildings, but that's all you're going to know about that. It'll be an HO, of course, because that's the way it works. Lenny, did we cover everything?
We did.
Well, it's 8:31 p.m., which means we've been on for an hour, which is a good time to say goodnight, to say goodbye. This is April 4th. What's first Monday next month? Is it May what? Do we know? Want to take a look? Somebody out there?
Absolutely.
Is it what's the first Monday?
It's right after the first Sunday.
That's true.
Maybe not. Maybe
It
not.
would be the 2nd.
Okay, so
So
May,
it is.
we're looking for May 2nd.
Yeah.
So we have to do yet another clinic and come up with yet more excuses.
Yeah.
And yes, Sal's. Salmonellas is Sal's, right? Salmonellas is an HO scale. Although we also make salmonellas already it's been available in N scale. This is the first time it's been available in HO scale as a standalone kit. So,
If there's
May
a-
2nd, everybody's contributed. Thank you very much.
Wait.
What?
If anybody has any ideas for clinics or they're looking for something in particular,
If you're looking for a good time, call Jack.
yeah. If
Let
you're
us-
looking for a clinic in particular, that's something that you had trouble with or you want to get more information on, you can send us you can just attach it to this podcast, and we'll take a look at those, and maybe we can come up with something that helps you with that whatever you're trying to get done.
And if you're a newer Bar Mills person, don't forget this is the April Railroad Model Craftsman. But in here, the centerfold has a lot of clinics. You just have to scan them like you would a restaurant menu, and including I think my favorite one, starring our guy Lenny here, the Puppet Master, the shop tour that he did a great job on a while ago. If you haven't seen that, if you watch nothing else, watch that, okay?
Yeah.
So thanks to you all, says Craig, and Ron Scannell says great show tonight.
Don't forget, if you're in the area, give us a call and you come take the shop tour in person.
Jim Armour says he'd like to see an extended clinic on what you did tonight, but I think if you can be more specific, it might be a good idea.
Tell Jim that I found in my car an envelope with a tall chimney that I was supposed to send to him, and I just sent it to him after it had fallen between the seats.
Well,
So
he actually thanked you for something that you sent him.
that wasn't it, because I just found it the other day. So it's on the way.
All right, as usual, from Maine to your home, we appreciate you spending this hour with us once a month, and hopefully you had a little fun, learned something, or maybe you didn't learn anything, or rediscovered something. And
Just had a good time.
we are always, Jack and I and Jim Mooney and Lenny, we're always putting each other to the test, and we're hoping to make things better. If you're having fun, we're doing it right. Okay, so that's it, Jack. You want to say good night to everybody?
Good night to everybody.
That's it. I knew that was going to happen. That's it, Lenny. You want to take us out?